Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you. You're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live in the central part of California in a city called Fresno. Do y'all know where that's at, right? I think we're putting that city on the map, to be honest. I think we really are, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host, and we're pegging on the live stream over here. Let me see what's going on. Let me make sure we lower this down a little bit. Hello. Okay, now we're back to normal. To my right, to your left, we have Alan Thomas.
Good evening, everyone.
And manning the board in front of us, that you can't see her because she refuses to be seen, is Emerald.
I'm back, guys.
Yeah, we're totally didn't know what we were doing last week, and I think if you watched the last show, then you would figure it out that, boy, those are goofballs. Don't you guys know anything?
Yeah, we're lost without Emerald. But if she got on this side of the camera, nobody would look at us. You know,
so
we're going to apologize in advance for the audio issues.
Are we having audio issues?
Yeah.
On the Art Bell side?
Yeah.
I wonder what's happening. That's odd. That is very odd.
Maybe we'll talk about how odd.
So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Again, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez, Alan Thomas, Emerald Bonilla, and you are watching us on ParanormalCentral.net on the live stream side, and you are listening to us on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. You have two ways of checking out the show today, and that's either on ParanormalCentral.net, or what we suggest you to do is tune in to ParanormalCentral.net, turn the volume off, and go to ArtBell.com, tune into the Dark Matter Network, because the audio out there is way more, just way better. But tonight, apparently we're having some technical difficulty sending them the audio from our side, so I wonder what's going on there. Who knows? But, well. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in tonight and showing up on a Sunday afternoon, no matter where you're at. I promise it's going to be a cool show tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in around the world as well, because, my gosh, we have fans now tuning in from all over the world who are emailing us and sending us messages from literally every continent out there, and it's kind of blowing us away. Our videos are taking off as well in viewerships, only because I guess our name is now getting out, and we appreciate that a lot. Tonight, we are going to be basically all over the place. You know, this show, we tune in. I mean, we talk about everything paranormal. We're just not one subject show here, not a UFO show, or just not a Bigfoot show. We talk everything paranormal. We're going to talk UFOs, Bigfoot. We have a guest on tonight. Her name is Tammy Thomas. If you saw the Monsters and Mysteries episode, Bigfoot Wars, Evil Gnomes, and Hellhounds, then you're going to know who this lady is, because we have her on the phone live from Porterville, California. She's going to give us basically, in her own words, what the heck happened in the back of her yard. So right now what we're going to do is we have two reporters who call in, and they're going to give us the latest info on UFOs and Bigfoot. And right now we have Ken Pfeifer out of the East Coast, and we have him on the line right now. Ken, are you there, buddy?
Hey, Jeff and Alan, how you doing, guys?
Good, man, good.
Hi, Ken.
Right.
Hey.
Got some good pictures tonight, man.
Yeah, there wasn't. Well, I'll tell you what. We did have about maybe 8 or 9 photos this week, but they weren't very good. There was really nothing spectacular. So I've been preaching all along that today's cameras are picking up a lot of objects in photos, and I'm kind of stressing and trying to get our listeners out there to look at some old photos they have, and also look at some even new photos they have from the digital cameras, and they may be surprised what they find.
Cool deal. All right, well, we got picture number 1, and
it is cool.
And
looking.
go ahead and tell us what we're looking at here for number 1.
Yeah, now this is there are many photos out there. Especially air shows. There are a lot of people who have captured UFOs, either the camera captured them or they actually saw some of these UFOs following the planes at the air show. But this one here is, this was October 13th, 2013, Kansas City, Missouri. Around noontime, the Guinness Book of World Records was at Kansas City Chiefs for record-breaking 50-plane flyover. I was photographing the event with my children along with several others using a Canon 400 with zoom at 3 FPS. I'm not sure what that means. I'll have to look that up. Never seen the object until I downloaded images onto my computer. Object did not appear in any other frames but this one. At first glance, I dismissed it as a possible bird until I enhanced the photo and it showed no structure. It was there, and in 1/3 of a second gone. None of us saw it but for the photo. So apparently she snapped off some photos, one right after the other, and this is the only photo that this thing showed up in. And
that looks like it's going to be in the way of those planes hitting it, man. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, it's a pretty spectacular shot, I thought.
Wow.
I really liked that one.
Wow, very cool. I mean, I don't know if it was there a split second and gone. But I say they're leaving behind a bunch of chemtrails.
You got that right. I really think these alien craft are curious. I wouldn't blame them if I was, visiting another planet and saw something flying around. I would be curious. I'd want to check it out, and I think that's what these craft are doing.
Yep, absolutely. So, okay. That was number 1. Let's go to number 2.
And I think that's really mineral oil.
What?
The planes put out mineral oil. They shoot it in, inject it, and they could even put different colors, like on show planes like that, and it leaves a trail, and they do that on purpose. And it's mineral oil.
Oh, okay. All right, we got number 2A up.
Okay, yeah. Well, 2A and 2B are connected. The 2B is a blow-up of 2A.
Okay.
Basically, what this was is I took my grandson Dominic Pfeifer to wanted to see the Blue Angels. I'm sorry, the Thunderbirds, because they're one of my favorite groups. So every year they have this down in Atlantic City around this time. So instead of going on a Saturday and Sunday, we decided to go down on a Friday because it'd be less crowds and see, these people have to practice before they put on their show the next day. So we were down there a day before. I mean, it was crowded. We were at the end of the pier there, Pier 1 there in Atlantic City on the boardwalk near the casinos, and I was there to capture a UFO. I mean, I had my camera, and I was ready to go. I was basically snapping photos all over the place, and of course, looking into the sky for seagulls or birds or bugs or whatever. So I was making sure that nothing was flying around at the time because I wouldn't have taken any pictures. But when I got done taking some photos, I got home and this is what I found.
So you took this one?
Yes, yeah, I took this myself, and especially photo 2B. That's the close up.
Okay, let's do the close up.
I don't know what that is. I tried to think that maybe it was a bird, and something. Of course, the debunkers say, "Well, it's some kind of experimental plane," and
yeah, but an experimental plane will not be flying right in the middle of a when you're doing an air show like this, they have
Exactly.
You know, that's kind of stupid comment when they say that. And
And you know that
it
Well,
is.
as you know, it's all prohibited airspace. They can't,
Yeah,
I
you
think
can't just fly
there's a
up.
5-mile radius
you
of
can't
prohibited airspace where
can't
no
make-
one is no planes or anything is allowed near the area, especially when the Thunderbirds are flying.
Yeah.
You know, this would probably be the most strictest airspace you can find at the time, and there's no way this was a plane, and
you can't
it
make
looked
the
like it looked
bunkers
like a
happy.
detailed something. I'm not sure what it is, but it really stood out in my photos.
Yeah,
It does.
You
It's
can't.
some
I just actually zoomed in on it even more for our audience, and for all those who are on the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. The pictures you are that we are talking about right now, you can actually see it on artbell.com on the homepage there. Just look for Paranormal Central photographs and just tune in there, and we're going as they are. We are describing them right now. You can go to them at photo number 1, 2, and 3, and just continue on right now. So yeah, it does look like an airplane from a distance, but again, it is the above that area is off limits to anyone, anything other than our craft. So, yeah, you got me on that one.
It was pretty cool because I published a photo and somebody read the article and they started looking through their shots of air shows,
right.
And I had some people, they were turning in some of their photos. As a matter of fact, when I was visiting my son in Cheyenne, Wyoming, every summer they have the Frontier Days, and of course the Thunderbirds are there every year because that's where F.E. Warren Air Force Base is in Cheyenne. It's a nuclear base. That's where my son was a missile police, they call them. Basically, they would go out. There's a 3-state area where they would have to basically check out the missile silos in case something was strange or alarms went off. It was his job to go check it out. But no, they had the Thunderbirds there every year, and we visited my son out in Cheyenne at least 2 or 3 times, and every time I took photos of the Thunderbirds out there, I also have some pretty neat shots of UFOs and then photos also, which I'll probably maybe display in the near future.
Okay, right on.
You think they might be impressed with their flying? Like, man, look at that old technology. Look at them make that thing move.
All right, number 3A.
Yeah, 3A. There's 2 photos, 3A and 3B. As you can see that this was Lake Titicaca, October 4th, 2013. This was a very interesting shot here. A brief statement is I was taking pictures of the landscape of Lake Titicaca. I did not see the object, but when I downloaded the pictures from my iPhone a few days later, the objects were there. I took some 100 or so pictures of the lake and surrounding landscapes, and the object only appeared in 4 pictures. I'm sending 4 pictures of the object and 1 picture taken 3 pictures later of the same area. And there's no object in that picture, but these 2 photos here, you can say it's different locations. It's not one photo blown up, but the bunker would say lens flare, or
right.
It was a flash off the window or something, but you can see that these are 2 separate locations of Lake Titicaca, and this strange object just appeared in the photos.
Looked like an orb. I mean, a very bright orb. I mean, it's moving around. I mean, that's what I see. And there's, like you said, there's no way it could be a lens flare if he's moving the camera from north to south or east to west. And obviously, lights, the way it's going to shine on the camera is going to be totally different. So there's no way you'd be able to get the object like that in 2 different places. Period.
This looks like the real deal to me. But,
yeah.
Isn't that a hot spot though?
Very interesting.
Isn't Lake Titicaca a hot spot? Like a lot of UFO sightings there.
Yeah, from what I understand, just Google Lake Titicaca UFO sightings, or just UFO Lake Titicaca, and there should be a bunch of articles that should pop up.
We got to watch that.
Yeah,
we got to watch our language.
Yeah.
We got to watch our language, Ken.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
We'll call it something else. Yeah, I even read that there's an underground base or underwater base, so they turn into a USO. go from a
yeah.
UFO to a USO and back again.
Oh yeah. No, but well, that's my theory that these things hide in lakes, rivers, ponds, oceans. It's a perfect place for these alien craft to hide. And as a matter of fact, our George Fowler, the director of New Jersey, he's my boss. He lives in Medford, New Jersey. He had a disc fly out of his lake, which is located in Medford, right next to his house. He witnessed this.
Wow.
So I think it's a perfect place for these craft to hide.
Wow. Very cool. All right. That was 3B and 3A. Okay, let's go to UFO number 4. We have a picture.
Yeah, that's my family.
Wow.
This was in Ocean City around August 1956. This is what got me into investigating UFOs. I found this photo in one of our old shoebox albums.
Wow.
And I says, "What the heck is that?" And I showed it to the family, and they didn't remember seeing anything and never really noticed it. And I showed it to my wife, and she, I had to point it out to her because she thought it was part of the wave or something. And I says, if that's part of the wave, or it's an 80-foot wave coming at us. But no, I got this photo analyzed, and there's definitely an object in the mist there. This is Ocean City, 1956. That's my father there, the big guy, standing on the right-hand side, and that's my aunt and uncle standing in front of him. And I'm pretty sure my mother was taking the photos, and I'm probably one of the kids in the surf there, but I'm not sure which one I am. But this is what got me started, this photo here. So
I have a question now. What ocean is this? This is a lake, an ocean. It's got to be an ocean if there's waves, right?
Oh yeah, no, that's Ocean City, New Jersey. That's the ocean right there.
Then my theory, and I'm thinking like a ding dong debunker that's a mountain and a cloud barely peeking out.
Yeah, of course. That's right.
No,
I got it analyzed, and that's the real deal there. So I've
squeeze
always,
the brackets more so that you got just the actual shit. Oh wow, there you go. Wow. Oh, that's interesting.
What I'm doing right now, Ken, is I'm actually zooming in with the wheel on the mouse, and it's definitely a structure that's popping through right now, and then we can see that. And it looks like it's popping through the cloud. That's what it's doing. How in the ocean you always have the low flying fog, and it looks like whatever's peeping out is peeping out of the clouds. I'm thinking that's what it looks like to me.
That's a good question.
Yeah, like I said, now that was an old, probably an old Brownie camera, and I'm sure if the object was there, I'm sure my mother would have noticed it. I'm hoping, but there's possibility that again the camera may have just captured this.
Are you going to be on Hangar 1, Ken?
I hope so. I doubt it very much. They'd probably throw me in jail if they put on the air what I had to say,
or fire you.
Yeah, more than likely. But who knows? Maybe I'm hoping.
I would say,
I'm hoping they do. And I did see the show again Friday night, and I love it. I think it's an excellent show myself. I really do.
I would say you're more of an expert than anyone. I mean, who has 6,000 photographs on their website? Nobody that I know of.
No one.
You're the only one that I know.
That's what was strange to me. Like, why?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why don't they have you already?
I was tired of going to a dozen different websites to look at photos, and I'm a show me kind of guy. So I said, "Damn, I'm going to put all these try to put all these photos on a website." And it took me quite a lot of time, quite a lot of effort. But
well, I've been following you for like 2 or 3 years, and you have great pictures. Everybody that's listening should go to his website and go check it out. You will trip out. There's good pictures.
Oh, we're good on live.
The funny part, though, a lot of the so-called the ufologists, the well-known ufologists, I never get any feedback. People act like the site doesn't exist, and that's really puzzling to me also.
We get the same thing. The only time we get feedback is when we make a boo-boo.
Absolutely.
And then they jump on us, And when we have it right, we don't hear nothing.
Yeah. Now, Ken, did you send me a number 5?
No.
No, okay.
That was,
Okay.
Just,
Okay, I just thought so. Okay, cool. Okay. Right on, Ken. Well, thank you very much. And for all those who don't know, Ken is a investigator for MUFON. He lives on the East Coast. And he has a website. And again, give everybody your website, please.
yeah, my photo website is worldufophotos.org, and my news website is worldufophotosannews.org. I have over 1,000 great cases on there. I'm starting to publish a lot of the older cases that I feel that people have to know about. They're really some of the best cases out there. So,
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I want to thank Jeff. I want to thank Alan for having me on. You guys got a great radio show, and I'm just honored to be on.
Awesome, man. Well,
I'm
Ken,
looking forward to your book.
So, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Ken, we're not going to be on next week because next Sunday is Easter, so we're taking that week off. So we will see you the week after, okay?
Sounds good, huh?
All right, Ken. Thank you, man.
Bye, Ken.
Hey, guys, have a nice
Okay.
Easter.
See you. You too. Take care.
Okay.
And for all those, again, if you go to paranormalcentral.net and go to our website, Alan has set up a link for our 2 investigator reporters, Ken and Danny. And you can go ahead and check out their stuff and their pictures and what they're all about. Next up is we have Danny Valderrama. He is calling from the big city of Kingsburg, California, which is south of Fresno.
In an undisclosed location.
in the basement of his mom's house.
Yeah. That's good.
And Emerald right now is talking to him and chewing him out. No.
Yeah, I did. He's
Yeah.
being mean.
Oh, that's Danny. He probably didn't run over anybody, so he misses that. Danny, you there? What?
I'm here.
Hi, Danny.
Oh,
Hello, Alan.
He's mad. You guys pissed him off.
oh, why do we piss him off?
Oh,
Why do we tick you off?
because we're talking about him and then we had him on air.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk about you, Danny.
Of course
No.
you did.
What?
None of my reports take place there anyway.
We love you.
All right. Danny is a Bigfoot guy. And he is pretty much up on what's going on in the Bigfoot world, around the world, not just here in the United States, but around the world. So we got him on the phone. He's going to be giving us some. He sent me a lot of pictures this time, dude. You floored me this time. So
Yeah, there's a lot.
there's a lot of stuff, and that's good. That means there's a lot of good info on Bigfoot this week, and a lot of people like Bigfoot. So let's go to Squatch picture number 1, and it is a photograph of a looks like what is that? A witness report, sign-up
Menu.
sheet.
It's a menu.
Yeah, it's a wildlife sighting report. Apparently, there's this is in Colorado.
Okay.
And there's a board where everybody who sees wildlife out there comes back and puts what they see on the board.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
so everybody knows where to look if they're there if they happen to be there that day. So this lady was writing her sighting on there, and then noticed just below there, about halfway down, is a Bigfoot report, and it shows the intersection where it was sighted.
Okay, and it's coming up right now, everybody. You're going to get it right now. I'm a couple seconds late, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll in so you
There's
can.
2 pictures. One's a close-up of the.
Oh,
the
okay.
same picture.
Okay, so let's do that then. Bigfoot, and what does it have to the right location? And it says Horseshoe and Lansing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess that's the camping site area of where it was seen. So she took a picture of it, thought it was pretty cool, and then they went about their camping, and then as they were leaving, I don't know how many days later, she went back in there, and the sign was taken down by the ranger.
Ah.
I won't show her. Well, you have the name up there. Is that cool to show her name too?
Yeah, well, it's on our Bell site. I forgot to
oh.
take her name off.
Oh.
Her name's Robin Roberts.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't put it on there then. Okay, there it is. So there you go. That's cool. Now, do we know if this is a hoax or not? No, we don't. But, it's like they took it off the wall probably right away. They could have scratched it out, but obviously, they're not taking any chances. They don't want any type of Bigfoot stuff at all at any of these forestry locations because that's only going to stir up more, questions. But yeah, hey.
And you would think that more people would go, if they heard that, or like, man, every Bigfoot hunter in the country would be over there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there has to be some background to it, because think about it, it's revenue for the forest. If they were to leave the posters up there like, oh, there's a Bigfoot, you get more people. So they're hiding something because they're taking it down.
Well, yeah, and but you'd have more crazies like Danny going up with a gun and looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And shooting someone.
Yeah. Or running over
only
somebody.
the hairy guys. That's
I don't
all.
use a gun, I use a truck.
No comment. All right. Let's go. Sasquatch number 3. Nothing inside joke, everybody. We'll tell you in a little bit. Uh-oh, what happened here?
You tell them every week.
Yeah, I do. You're right, I do. Huh? Oh, that's funny. Okay, we have a map. What is this map? What are we looking at?
This was from February 19th of this year, and this is something that in the state of Washington, there's been reports of bat squatch.
Bat
Bigfoot with wings.
What's that?
But this is in Oregon. They got 2 reports on the same night of a winged creature, humanoid type.
Okay. Now, I didn't get that. Now, of a what squatch?
Bat squatch.
Bat squatch.
It's a giant Bigfoot with wings.
What?
Mothman?
Yeah, we've heard about that before. There's a guy there near Mount Adams in Washington that's had people see it in his area. Who runs a
Now, who named it that squatch?
Well, that's a combination because it has wings. It looks like Bigfoot, but it has wings on it. It's been seen in Washington and now apparently in Oregon. And it kind of looks like what maybe Alan and Rick saw.
Okay, that's interesting because we have some we're going to be talking about that particular sighting after you tonight, Danny. So, okay, that's wow.
So,
that is interesting.
This was from February 19th. I don't know when Rick and Alan saw theirs. It might have been the same.
When did you see
around the
it?
same time.
October 24th or something like that.
Of last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it last year?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, but he could fly a long ways in that amount of time. It would be a long walk, but when you're flying, hey.
Okay. All right. So let's go to number.
The first report was from a 47-year-old man from Roseburg who didn't want to give his name, but he was sitting out smoking a cigarette on his front porch around 6 p.m.
Uh-huh.
And you can see on the map where Roseburg is down there. It's near the bottom. It's circled.
Okay.
And he saw what he thought was a person sitting on a tree branch on his neighbor's tree. So he went inside and called his wife to have a look too, and she saw somebody sitting up there too. So she said, "We need to call the police because there's probably a drunk guy up there." And he got her to get her phone out and try to take a picture of it. And that's the other picture. They have it circled of what they saw up there, but you can't really make anything out because it's pretty dark on there.
Okay.
And when it saw them, it kind of crouched down, but it stayed still. And then and it looked like it had a long black cape on too, is what they described it as. And he was trying to clap his hands to try to get it to look at him. And it wasn't until his wife took the photo and the flash went off that it spooked it. And it started climbing down the tree. And he said it was moving like a lizard, but fast and in an awkward way.
Whoa.
And it freaked his wife, and then she dropped the phone and ran back in the house. And he said it was probably 100 feet away from him. And he said it definitely had long arms. And when it got down to the lawn, it was standing up on 2 legs. So it wasn't a cougar, it wasn't a bear, it wasn't anything he'd seen before. It walked a few steps just like a person, and then it lifted itself off the ground, hovering on the road about 2 feet off the asphalt. And then a bright light appeared in the sky, and the thing shot up towards the bright light, and it just disappeared in a matter of seconds.
Okay, now the picture that I just barely put up right now. So, am I supposed to be looking at the picture number 4 now with the tree?
It's a tree, yeah, and the tree circled. There's a little spot on the tree that's circled, and then there's an inset picture of a blow up of the picture of the tree.
Right.
And you can't really see anything. I don't know what they're looking at there, but that's the area that the creature was sitting in the tree when his wife took that picture.
Let me tell you something. What happened to my dad? My dad doesn't believe in this crap that we're all talking about today. Okay, and my dad just out of the blue, when about 2 years ago, when he found out that I was really into the paranormal, like he doesn't know now, he said he across that from his home where he grew up on K Street in Sanger, and this was when he was a young boy. There's a massive tree that was across the street. And he said that he was outside, and inside the tree, it was shaking like this. like this inside the tree. And he said no human or person could get in there and shake the tree like that. And it scared him so much that I think he said he ran inside. But after I told him that Bigfoots have been known to climb up trees, for some reason he told me that story. Now, I didn't mention to him about Mothman or any type of creature with wings, but for my dad to come and tell me that's what he witnessed, telling me that something back then really scared him enough, something, whatever it was, it shook the inside of that massive tree. So whatever it was strong and big. Now, no human, he said no human could have done that.
Maybe it was mothy.
You know what? Mothy has been seen in Sanger big time. So, all right, let's go to number.
A lot of reports near, is it Sanger out in the country, like in McCall? I hear a lot of reports on McCall.
McCall, on your way to Selma, we get a lot of Mothman reports out there, and I mean a lot.
Yeah, and pterodactyls.
Yes, and for some reason, the city of Selma, it's Mothman territory. Why, I don't know. But some guy also told me, and he called me one time, twice, and he said he was supposed to take me. But maybe there's a place in Selma where, and I think it's no, I can't say that, but it's a location where there's like old buildings, like an old little town, and he said there's something living in one of those old buildings. That's what he told me. But anyways, I haven't.
That'd probably be near Cattleman's then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Little western town there.
Yeah. So, okay, we got the next picture up of a black and white photo with something circled behind a tree. What do you got?
Is that the Todd Standing one?
Did you get Mickey's? Did you get Mickey's?
Yeah.
No. That's the number.
Yeah. No. Right now we're at the picture that has, I think, the Bigfoot behind a tree, sideways.
Yeah, this is a truck driver from Oklahoma. Is Jimmy Williams of Bartlesville, Oklahoma. This was taken in 2001, but he's just decided to come forward.
So what was his report?
He was driving. He drives a delivery truck 3 times a week to Kansas. So on this day, he happened to be with his 12-year-old kid, and before he posted the pictures, he was telling everybody, I don't want to be ridiculed. I just want to tell you what I saw. So you don't have to believe me, but this is what happened. So he was turning onto Highway 10 from Highway 75, and the road is notorious for deer versus vehicle accidents. So he had his son watching the right side of the road for deer, and he was watching the left side. And when he looked over to a winter wheat field about 100 yards out, he saw a huge black figure that bent over, like trying to hide. So he slowed his truck down, and when he slowed his truck down, his son looked over to see what was going on. And he saw it too. He said, "Dad, is that Bigfoot?" And his dad replied, "Yeah, I think so." So they slowed the truck, and we're looking at it, and he had a video camera, so they were videotaping it. And the sighting lasted about 2 minutes. He said, and it stood up, and when it stood up, they saw it stand up, and it turned to look at the truck. So it was about 78 feet tall, about 300 to 500 pounds, jet black, had a coned head, very well proportioned, and it looked like it was eating something off a small branch. He thinks it possibly was berries or something. But in December, I don't know if you have those out there.
Good question. Let me go to...
He said it never ran, never walked away. It just turned its whole body and watched them the whole time as they drove past. He did put I asked him if he had he said he had a video of it. I asked him if he put it on YouTube, and he did, and he provided the link, and I'll put it up on your page.
Oh, so you actually talked to the guy?
I asked him a couple questions on Facebook.
Go Danny.
And he does have the video. These are the pictures that you couldn't really see anything. I couldn't see anything.
Right.
So I was asking him about it, and he provided the pictures that have the thing circled. And once he circled it and then showed the original, you can kind of see there's something there with a pointed head kind of behind a tree or standing in front of a tree that's looking out. There's like 3 or 4 pictures, I believe.
Yeah, I've got the inverted color blue and white one with the white outline, and I have it zoomed in on just that photograph. So that's
you can see it's kind of bent over in those pictures.
Cool. And,
And there's another picture, too, where the bark in that area, he went back and took a couple pictures, and the bark on the trees, about the 10 to 12 foot level, is all rubbed off. That's the other picture that's on there.
Okay, let me get that one for you. And it would be here. All right. Okay, so now I got the... Okay, so I guess now is this the... I guess the photograph with it not in it? Is that correct?
Let's see which one you got.
Or that might... Oh, no, this might be... Well, I don't know. Okay, it's the...
There's a bunch of... Did you see the trees?
Yeah, it's a brown... The brown one. But I still see something... A large object in the behind the tree.
Yeah, he provided 3. That one with no markings on it, and then...
Okay, I got the one without the markings then.
So that you can kind of see it behind the tree.
Oh,
kind of bent over.
I
That's
see.
when it was bent over.
Okay. All right. So this is
I see. It's behind the tree. The way he had it marked, I thought it was in front of the tree.
No, see, it's right here like this.
Looks like a gorilla.
Yeah, it does. It has a pointed head and everything. Big arms.
Man, Robin Williams would hug that.
You saw that video, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. I kind of like zoomed in on it for everybody to see. For all those non-believers, okay. For all those believers, well, could be. You have to understand, especially now if there's a kid with the truck driver, you have a witness. You know, why would the father tell the kid to lie about something like this? You know, people actually see these things, and they're out there, whether you believe it or not. You know,
They weren't looking for it. They were looking for deer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you go out on those highways. We count the dead deer. Because, I mean, you get out of California, and for some reason, there's just millions of deer, and there's lots of dead ones. Wow. Okay. We were like in the 700s in Texas.
Let's go to Squatch picture number 8. And okay, so now we have what we're having is that I guess what we have now on the screen for everybody at artbell.com. It's the photograph with just the trees at a different angle. So I'm thinking they walked around now to the side where this thing was actually ducking down behind the trees, and that's what you're looking at, right?
Yep.
Okay. Give you another.
Yeah. Now the video they're asking about it. You're going to put that on Jeffrey's wall.
Yeah, I'll put it up on Jeffrey's wall.
All right, and then later on, I'll put it on the website.
Okay. For all those who don't know, it's go to the Facebook, Sanger Paranormal Society, or Jeffrey Gonzalez, either way, and be a friend of mine. I got about 700 more to go before I hit 5,000, and that's it. But we'll have this. Alan will go ahead and get this and put it on the website at paranormalcentral.net for all those who are at the artbell.com.
And I also could put it on Paranormal Central page.
Oh, there you go.
You know, and then anybody can be a friend of that one.
Yes.
And up to past 5,000. Screw you, Facebook.
So, all right, now we are going to go to the story of the century. Well, not really, but Todd Standing, Survivor Man Bigfoot, which is supposed to air this week for this part 2, right?
Part 2.
Yes. Which is what day is that?
I can't remember. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, on the Discovery Channel, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I want to go to your house and watch it.
Okay. So, all right. So we got Todd Standing. So go ahead, fill in to everybody what we got here and what you're going to talk about.
Well, they were bashing everybody this week on the Bigfoot forums, and some of the quotes were, "I truly can't believe how Meldrum is falling for this guy," and "Wow, Bigfoot combs his hair, looks like a puppet with a blinking eye." Were some of the comments that were made all week long. And it's because of the Todd Standing pictures that were posted. And somebody took it upon themselves to, I forgot to write down their name, but they compared Todd Standing's face with the dark.
Now, who did this, Danny?
It's somebody on one of the pages that was, because everybody was bashing.
Okay.
This doesn't look real at all.
What's that?
Because everyone was saying it doesn't look real at all.
What do you mean? Oh, I see what you're saying. The Bigfoot itself doesn't look real.
Bigfoot didn't look real.
Okay, what we're going to show you right now, people who are on ParanormalCentral.net watching it on live stream, and those who are at the artbell.com are already probably scrolling to the pictures. Todd Standing has been looking for Bigfoot for a while now. He's up in Canada, and he found a spot where they're supposed to be. Now he has Jeff Meldrum jumping aboard. He's also now on the Survivor Man episode called Survivor Man Bigfoot. And there are some really interesting photographs and videos that Todd Standing is releasing. And a lot of people think that it's all a hoax. But, as we talked about it last week, why would Jeff Meldrum and why would, what is his name? Les Stroud. I can never forget his name. Remember his name. And why are they like teaming up with this Todd Standing? And I say that if they are teaming up with Todd Standing, it's because they know something, and they would not ruin their credibility. But there are still people coming out and saying Todd Standing is a hoaxer. And somebody looks like they went out and got the photograph that Todd Standing himself put out, and they superimposed the page. That's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to show you pictures of different time-lapse type of deal of Todd Standing. Actually, first what I'm going to do is I am going to go to Todd Standing. What does he look like? Okay, matter of fact, here it is.
You know, he said that Bigfoot right there, the one that winked, is supposed to be 5 years old. That's what he said.
So that's this Bigfoot here that we're looking at right here.
Yeah, I read it. You know, I researched this all the time too, and he said that one was a 5-year-old.
Okay.
That Bigfoot was 5.
All right.
It was like, how did he know? Did he ask him? You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I 5.
Okay, so what we got here right now, the picture that I have up, Danny, is Todd Standing's on the right and the Bigfoot photographs on the left. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to time lapse it, and I'm going to show you what people actually did, and superimposed the actual Bigfoot photo onto Todd Standing's face. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going.
It's only 5-year-old I know with gray hair.
What bothers me here, Danny, is, and you probably remember when the website Ghost Theory, when we had the windows out there back in the days, they actually got a photograph of a polar bear and put that up to the back window, and it matched up damn well, pretty dang close to a polar bear. So what did everybody think around the world when they did that? It's a bear.
Yeah, but they had to enhance the picture somehow.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
so, by doing this here, it's really not confirmation to me. And I don't know if it's confirmation to you, but, I mean, I'm looking at the lips, though, Danny, when you sent this to me yesterday or the day before, and the lips look pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what he noticed, too. He noticed that the lips were almost the same, and that Todd Standing has a little, right in the middle, on the top lip, he has a little curve that comes down. And if you look on the other picture, I don't know how clear it is, but it has that same little curve on the lips. And that's what got him thinking, hey, this might be Todd Standing.
Oh, my God.
Maybe that's his bank robber costume,
Okay.
Makeup industry.
Yeah, I know. You imagine if Jeff Meldrum and Les Strauss is eventually these guys find out to be not the real thing. Oh my gosh!
Going to trash Les Stroud and who was Jeff
Well, not only
Meldrum?
that, but Jeff Meldrum is done. Cause that's telling me he's only in it for the money.
That is true.
Sorry.
I mean, it's going to hurt
the other
him.
Pictures I provided, there's 3 other pictures, and there is a condition. This may not be a Bigfoot. It may be a person. It may be a person with a disease called hypertrichosis. It's just a genetic disease, a mutation, and people are born with it. And if you remember these kids from Mexico, one of the pictures up there,
which I have on right now.
Kids from Mexico, they're in a circus.
Right. And I have that up right now. And I remember, these photographs when they came out and they were showing everybody them. I do definitely remember.
They have, man, I was just looking at it. There's a website you could go to, and you can download, it's like an app, and you can match people's faces.
Really?
Yeah, and it'll match the eyes and everything. I wonder if we could try that. I'm going to try that.
Dude, that's a cool idea.
And see if it'll work.
That's a cool idea.
The government uses it on us every day.
Well, you anyways.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so I have another photograph.
At Walmart.
There's been about 50 reports since the Middle Ages of people with this, and then 34 documented reports of people with this genetic mutation. And some of them were with P.T. Barnum. The last one that has the hair covering its nose was Beachy Farm had a little sideshow with him, and the other kids were in the circus. So there are people out there.
Maybe Todd Standing's one of them, and he shaves.
Or maybe Todd Standing hired one guy to do that for him.
Oh, that could be.
These kids have shaved,
I doubt
and it comes back.
No, I doubt it. Yeah.
Either that, or he's like, what's his name, Michael Fox, in Teen Wolf.
Jeez. Yeah. Could be. So, all right, that is. I don't know. We're just gonna have to let this play along and let Jeff and Les and Todd Standing. Somebody, if Standing is really doing this just for stardom, then he's going to mess up eventually. I think something's going to catch up to him, and he'll mess up.
He's messing around. I know we've talked to Jeff Meldrum. He's serious.
Yeah, Jeff.
That guy's a serious guy.
Yeah. And
I mean, some of you got to admit, the TV show, he has some pretty good evidence, like the trees, the structures. I mean, he had some good stuff to show.
Yeah.
Just that stuff's a little bit out there, you know what I mean?
I don't know. So
maybe he's pushing the envelope and trying to put some fake stuff with real stuff.
Right.
And he doesn't have to, really.
So, okay. All right, Danny, anything else?
That's
it. All right, buddy. Thank you very much. And next week, again, is Easter, so we'll be talking to you the week after, okay?
Yeah, we're going squatching on Easter.
No, we're not. Yes, we are. No. So, all right, right on, Danny. All right, thanks, man. And keep me informed of anything happening, and don't run over any more people.
Later, Danny.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
So, okay. That was Danny, our Sasquatch report for the week. Okay. What we're going to do now is, before we call in Tammy, not yet, we're going to call Mickey. We're going to do really quick for the next 10 minutes. I got a call last week on my 24-hour paranormal hotline from somebody in Arizona.
Pay attention, Rat's Glass.
And he told me that he was outside with somebody, and right before sunset, they saw something in the sky. He is a pilot by trade. This is what he does. And he had his camera. He went in to get his camera, and he started taking pictures of this thing. Before I even show you the photograph, which he sent me, and before I show you what he actually sent me as a report, I sent the photographs right away to Mickey Burrow. For all those who don't know who Mickey Burrow is, he is our official Paranormal Central law enforcement forensic officer. And from now on, if I have any photographic evidence or video, I am going to send it to him to make sure that it is genuine. And what I mean by that, if it hasn't been altered, granted, somebody takes a photograph, I want to make sure it's not photoshopped or CGI'd or something added or taken away. And when I sent it to Mickey, I had Mickey analyze it. And we have Mickey on the phone. Mickey.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mickey.
All right. So,
hey, Alan.
Okay, so I sent you these photographs, and don't say anything yet, because Alan has not seen these photographs. And the reason why, Mickey, is him and Rick had an encounter last year, right around October, of something very similar that flew over Fresno. And him and Rick, our official mechanic for Paranormal Central, saw it too and blew him away. So before we show him the picture, I sent you the photographs directly from that email. I basically forwarded them to you. And what did you find out on those photographs?
Well, you sent me the pictures, and like you said, nobody else has seen them yet but me. But anyway, what I did was I started looking at them, and I ran them through the first thing I always do is I look at the metadata that's taken with the picture, that the camera is taken with it. And the metadata showed that the photographs were taken with the Canon Rebel XS digital camera. In quick succession, they were taken about within 1 second apart. And the problem with taking these photographs, I don't know if you have it up on the
No, I don't have it. No, I don't. Not yet.
Anyway, the photographer who took these pictures knew what he was doing. When I say he knew what he was doing, he knew how to work his camera.
Okay.
And to me, there's a 50-50 thing right there, whereas you either get somebody who really knows their stuff and knows what they're doing, that's how the picture turned out,
Or you may have an average person who just is going to grab their camera and just take the picture. Well, this person obviously knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Anyway, I started analyzing the data in the picture, and what I was looking at was this picture was taken in the evening time, according to the clock that was provided that the clock is correct on his date on his camera. Anyway, this was taken at about 7:30 in the evening, so it's getting near dusk on the 8th of April. That's what I have here. Anyway, the metadata shows that the exposures were taken at 1/20th of 1 second, which means that in photography that's kind of slow. It's not real fast, but you are able to what they call hand hold the camera. But you do run the risk of getting a blurry picture that way. And the photographer who shot these shot them at 300 millimeters, which is fairly long. I mean, that's a good. That's about the average consumer lens that the maximum length you're gonna get. You still with me?
So right now, what I did, Mickey, right now is I have up the witnesses report on the screen so everybody could read it.
I have a question.
Okay.
On the 1/20th of a second with the long lens, wouldn't that be to let more light in?
It will, but it also is going to lengthen the time.
Okay.
And the photographer who shot this picture shot his ISO setting was at 1600. 1600 means that your capabilities of shooting in lower light are greater because you're increasing the sensitivity of the sensor. It's almost like turning the volume up on a radio. You're essentially enhancing it to where it can record things a little better, or turning up the volume on a microphone. Anyway, at 1600, he was shooting it at 5.6. 5.6 is the amount of light that's being let in the lens.
Okay.
That lens, it's going to be, that's an average consumer lens, 300 millimeters, 5.6 at 1600, which means that you're running a real risk in getting a blurry picture.
Okay.
From just camera shake alone, not so much the moving object, but camera shake alone because you're trying to hand hold this thing. I don't know if he used a tripod or not. He would have to explain that. But the pictures that I'm looking at, they are fairly sharp. Now, the only thing that would make that happen would be as if and again, this is the metadata doesn't explain this, but he could have what's called an image stabilized lens, which tells everybody has like a steady shot, or they've used steady shot on their cameras, where they kind of stabilize this thing. It doesn't give a vibration, and you can get more stop action on your end because you're not seeing a lot of vibration from your movement. I hope I'm making sense here.
Okay.
Kind of doing this on the fly.
Well, right now, Mickey, I have the photograph now on the screen, and I'm showing everybody what it is. But you have it spinning on Alan's side. Did we go off the air?
Okay.
I don't know.
So anyway,
you're green.
At 1/20th of a second at 300 millimeters, you're going to run a great risk of camera shake. And there's very minimal. There's next to none. But again, this may have been an image stabilized lens that he was using. The metadata doesn't give me that. Now, the other thing I did notice is that
the wings.
the photographer who did shoot this
the body
switched over to a manual focus.
Wings.
Okay, this is something that a lot of people don't know, okay? Unless you've had some kind of camera training, which I don't know what his background is or whatever. But what happens is anybody who's ever tried to autofocus a camera on a dark subject against a dark background, your camera's going to hunt. When I say hunt, the focus is going to go in and out, and trying to focus on something, and it just can't do it because there's no contrast there for the camera to focus on. So what the photographer did is he switched over to manually focused on this, set his camera to 1600, opened his lens wide open, zoomed out, all this within a matter of seconds. and shot the picture. And this is, everybody's seeing kind of what.
I've got, I got the photograph up. I blew it up a little bit, made it larger. In a way that looks like a giant moth. Okay. But the wings are very colorful. I can see color in the wings, and for all what I did is I actually rotated it counterclockwise right now, so that way now it seems like it's flying from right to left, and that's what I have on the screen right now. But it looks like a giant moth. But then again, the guy who sent it to me, I don't know. I tried to get him back on the phone. It went to answering machine or voicemail. I could not get him back on. I wanted to come on tonight, and I wanted everybody to hear it from him on what he saw. I let everybody read his witness report that I told him to go ahead and send it to me. When I talked to him on the phone for a bit, he sounded very intelligent. He told me he was a pilot. And that's why when you read the witness report, it states knots and degrees and all that kind of stuff. So he would, you can, and that's right away, Mickey. You even, realize that this guy has some type of background in order for him to be talking that way.
Exactly.
So
I don't. Again, looking at the stuff, looking at what the data that came with the picture.
Right.
He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
The only person who could, who I would say would know something like this would be me. I mean, I would know how to shoot it,
Right.
So, I mean, but that doesn't say that, not everybody else out there doesn't have my education, because I'm sure people do, and experience. What I'm saying is, this guy knows what he's doing.
Okay.
Okay. He took the picture correctly, about as correct as you're going to get.
Right.
I did analyze the photo. I put it through my program that I have to check and see if there's any kind of Photoshop done. And there's a couple things that I'm looking for. It's called hold on a second here. Error level analysis, which I just got this new program, and error level analysis identifies certain things that can suggest that it is manipulated in some way, shape, or form. Now, the program doesn't tell me if the photo's been manipulated.
Okay.
All that is a microscope, basically, and I come to my own conclusions. And looking at the conclusions is that this photo wasn't digitally altered.
Okay. So he saw this object and he took photographs of it, and that's what we're looking at right now.
Exactly. What you're looking at,
I don't know.
Could this picture be faked? It could very well be faked, but it wasn't faked with a camera, and it wasn't faked with a computer program.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, what he told me when I was talking to him over the phone is, and I just let him talk. This was before he sent me the witness report. He said it was gliding and the wings were not flapping. He said it was gliding.
See, that matches.
Okay.
What
And when he said that to me, that's when I didn't even say anything, and I let him continue talking. He said, Jeff, the wings were not flapping. I don't know how it was flying, but it was gliding. And he mentioned the speed on the witness report as far as knots go. I don't know nothing about that, so I can't tell you how fast that is. But he says the wings were not flapping, and it was gliding.
That's exactly what.
And as soon as he said that to me, that totally freaked me out, because that's what Alan and Rick said when they witnessed their Mothman over Fresno, is the wings were not flapping, it was gliding. All right? Take that for what it's worth.
I wish I could see the wings better.
I mean, like I said, I can't tell you what it was, or, it's what it is. All I can tell you is the photo fake?
Okay.
And did
the
he
photo
say...
is not fake. The photo is real. There's no digital manipulation in there. That's all I can tell you.
Awesome, and I appreciate that, because
if it's fake, it's done outside the camera.
Okay, and okay. So we're just going to leave it right there, Mickey. I appreciate you with the information. That's all all you can do is, that's what I wanted you to tell me, was it altered in any way? No, it was not. So the witness photographed this object and that's basically cool. It wasn't CGI, photoshopped, and that's what I wanted to know. So, all right, Mickey, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Until next time.
Give me more.
Thanks,
Send them my
Mickey.
way.
Absolutely, you do. There's gonna be a lot more coming your way, guarantee it.
Sounds good, Joe.
All right, man. Thanks, Mickey.
All right.
Okay.
All right, take it easy.
Okay, bye.
Now, did the dude say that like it had big red eyes or anything?
And
No?
I asked him. I said, "Did it have any eyes?" He said he couldn't see any eyes.
Man, he would have saw the eyes.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But you know what? It's close, but no cigar.
Right.
But only the not flapping its wings. That really.
Yeah, that's what got me to continue with this investigation. He told me it didn't flap its wings; it was gliding. If it said it was flapping its wings, and I saw this thing. To me, this looked like a giant moth, you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the wings, and there's color. I can see different color variations, like a green and a light blue in the wings itself. So moths are very colorful, but who is not to say that we have larger Mothman with colorful wings? I don't know. But I wanted you guys to see this because this is the stuff that we're getting.
Yeah, and that he said it was 8 feet. That would put it like a little bit smaller than what we saw. Actually, I think.
So,
but only what we saw did not flap either.
Yeah. So okay, what we're gonna go ahead and continue on. What we have now up is we have. Oh man, it went back to normal once I did it to that. Okay, hold on.
Another town sits alongside.
The window.
Another.
Man, like I'm waiting for the one that has dragon wings. The one I saw had dragon wings, black dragon wings, but he wasn't flapping them, and he had brown fur, and he had big red eyes, and he looked at me right when I had the binoculars on him.
Right.
And creeped me out, and I'm still creeped out.
All right. Next up is, for all those who don't know, and I'm going to say it again, we were on an episode called Monsters and Mysteries. Yeah. Well, there's 3 stories in that particular episode. One of the stories was Evil Gnomes. This particular one was in Porterville, California, which is south of Fresno, about 25-30 miles. And there was a lady who moved into a house on the Tule River, which, for those who don't know, is part of the Tule. Actually, river runs through the Tule Reservation, which comes down through the mountains. Am I right?
Yep, it goes right down.
Okay, and a lot of people seem to think there's a lot going on this particular river, and this lady here witnessed an evil gnome of some type. So right now on the screen, I am going to play you
only here,
clip
rather than Bigfoot,
of the intro.
Trouble arrives with tiny, terrifying steps. The quiet river town of Porterville, California. Its historic main street is reminiscent of an earlier time, when gold seekers and settlers braved the mountains to find their fortunes. In this frontier town, sometimes evil greets newcomers.
Porterville is the kind of place I would expect to see something weird, something like paranormal or just strange.
Almost there, Tammy.
Tammy Thomas came to Porterville to start a new life for her family.
Okay, and we're on the phone. Tammy Thomas, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, Tammy, how's it going?
Hi, Tammy.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, we can hear Tammy. Yay! Last time you were having strep throat. Well, what happened?
It just sore throat, laryngitis, and all that good stuff.
The whole thing, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, very cool. Okay, well, hey, you have a great story, and it's right up our alley.
Okay.
You were interviewed in a show called Monsters and Mysteries, obviously. When did this incident happen?
Let me see. I believe it was either 99 or 2000.
Okay.
I believe it's been a long time ago. And
you might want to lower your volume on your computer.
Yeah, it's my mom's TV. Hold on.
Oh, the TV.
It's not having the same conversation we are.
Yeah, so this happened back then. Now, were you buying the house or were you renting it?
We were renting it.
Okay. And this is, I guess, the back of your house is right up to the Tule River then?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's... what?
Is it below the reservation, like after it goes through the res?
Yeah, it's below the reservation. It's just off of Highway 190 in Porterville.
Okay.
And the river is, you go down, let's see. Actually, it's right in the, sometimes we would hear cats, like, screaming, so, we just thought they were fighting. And let's see, it was probably about a month after we started hearing the weird different noises. Oh, well, and we would hear like a really weird cackling like noise. And one night, my grandson and I, he was 3 at the time, we'd gone to the grocery store, and we just got home, and I was getting him out of the car, and I saw him standing. He was looking at something. There was, on the other side of our yard, there was a really old car.
Okay.
Parked near that shed. And he just kept looking at it, and I, what are you looking at? And he just pointed, and I looked over, and I kind of heard like that weird cackling sound first. Then I looked over and saw this creature, I don't even know how to describe it. It was a gnome.
Okay.
He had on...
describe, in detail. I want you to describe to me in detail. When you say gnome, people have these statues in front yards all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
How tall was it, first of all?
I would say it was about 3 feet, 3 feet tall. And it had, it had like long grayish hair and beard and mustache. It was like dirty. And it had a hat on, not a tall pointed hat like the ones, the garden gnomes have. It was, I don't know how to describe the hat. It was just a cloth like floppy hat.
Okay, did it look like one? And you have to understand, I totally believe you 100%. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out what it resembles the closest. How about one of the 7 dwarves in Snow White? Like grumpy, but was it more evil looking?
It was more evil looking. It had, it had a big bull's nose and little like beady eyes. But its teeth were not, it had like jagged teeth, not straight like ours would be. They were kind of jagged.
Okay.
And it had like a big mouth, and it would grin at us, or it was grinning at us as we were looking at it. And it started like chuckling, making a weird chuckle noise.
Okay. Now.
But it had like brown baggy pants on and white, I guess it was a white shirt and a yellow vest over the shirt.
Man, that's something that we see in cartoons. You know what I'm saying? And even this stuff is not supposed to be real, Tammy.
I know. Well, I know, and if I had not seen it, there's no way I would have ever believed, because just like you say,
right.
Those things are supposed to exist.
Now, the gnome that they made up for the episode in Monsters and Mysteries, how close did they come to that?
Very close. It
really?
Startlingly.
Wow.
Except for that it didn't have the jaggedy teeth and the big creepy looking mouth, but it looked,
Really?
Yeah.
Did you draw them a picture, or did they have a sketch artist or anything like that? How did they get so close?
I don't know. I just described him. I just described what it looked like to them.
That is cool.
And they said they would get as close as they could.
Wow, that is so cool. If that's the case, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the picture right back up and give everybody some nightmares. Hold on, Tammy.
Okay.
Okay, I love it. And this is what the picture they pretty much came up with. Okay. So
that means there's a little midget guy running around. Scary
Okay.
as
Now,
heck.
when they called you, wanted to do the story, obviously you said yes. Now, I heard that you guys went to the house and asked permission to film there. What happened?
They said no. They didn't even. In fact, the people that ended up buying the place after we moved out, they put like a 12-foot. I don't know what you call it. Not a chain link fence, but you couldn't see in it at all. And
Really?
They turned all the way across, down to the river.
Are you serious?
Pardon me?
Now, do you know who bought it?
No, I don't. I just know that the day they came to look at it, they were very rude.
Now, describe the new owners. Were they an older couple, younger?
No, they were about I don't know, about late 30s, early 40s, and they had a young son.
Okay.
And they said they'd been looking for a place out in the country, and I guess to them that was in the country. And I wanted to tell them about what, we had seen, but they didn't want to hear. They didn't want to know. And the old owner, the previous owner, he was there. The man that I had rented it from, he was there at the time, wouldn't let me, of course he wanted to make a sale, so he wouldn't let me say anything.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay, so they built a fence, a very high fence. Was this out of brick, out of cement blocks?
No, it was more like it had been chain link, but it had like the little aluminum slats.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but
right.
It's when you couldn't see through
yes.
it. And they kept it padlocked.
Okay. Interesting.
So,
why would they? Why would they?
They'll live there only for a little while.
Well, I'm just I'm going out on a limb here, and I'm thinking that maybe it was bought by the guys, the people, the government, just because of what's there, and what you talk to, or the new owners, are probably just plants, because putting that fence around the property, especially a high one so you can't see in, and that tells me something a little bit about what I think is going on there. And so obviously, okay, so you couldn't film there, and you did the interview down here in Porterville, I'm thinking, and they did all the they did all the recreation in Virginia, where they're from, just like they did for us.
okay.
So now, what's that?
I didn't know that, but
yeah. What they did too, when we when they interviewed us down here in Fresno or in Sanger. And they did all the recreations in Virginia on the East Coast, where they're stationed out of. So I'm pretty sure that's what they did with you guys too. So, all right. So, how long? Well, your grandson saw it then, right? How old is he now?
He's 17.
He's 17. Is he there?
He was, but he had to go to work.
Okay, no problem. No big deal. Okay. So, all right. So now we have you're there now. All of a sudden, you are hearing things outside, and this particular shed in question, I heard on the actual episode that your animals or your pets did not even want to get close to that shed. Is that right?
None of the animals. We'd have like stray dogs. I had 2 dogs and cats, and we had like neighborhood dogs and cats. No animal would go. I mean, they would walk as far away from that shed as they could, and we would go, if I'd take my kids down to the river to go swim, we'd have to go past that shed.
Right.
But I kind of made my own path where we didn't have to walk right by it, because the first few times that we did, you just get just the freakiest feeling of being watched. And because it had windows in it. I guess it had, I don't know what it had been at one time, but it did have windows and on the one side. And you would feel like you were being watched. And then the way the animals reacted to it, when I'd take my dogs with us down the river, they wouldn't even go past it, even with the trail that I made. They'd go down through the bamboo and over to the river.
Did you ever go in that shed?
No, it was always padlocked.
Oh, real? Oh, okay. It was padlocked because the previous owner had it padlocked. Okay, I see.
Did it ever come out? Like, did you ever see it outside of it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We saw it. We saw it a couple of times, actually. The first time when my grandson and I had come back from the restaurant, we saw it, and I grabbed him and ran in the house, and I was trying to tell my 2 younger daughters, make sure all the windows are closed, and I was trying to tell them what we'd seen. Well, we heard a noise outside under the living room window, and we looked, and we could see the top of its head just a little above the window sill. Wow. And the window was probably about 8 to 10 feet up off the ground. But we saw the top of its head, and I ran and put the blind down real quick.
Wait. So you were on the second story then?
No, it
Okay.
was one story, but the windows were up pretty high.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
kind
like
of high above the ground.
it was probably an older house, huh? Because a lot of the
Yeah.
older houses have the windows way up like that.
Okay, I see. So
Yeah.
you're telling me this thing was floating or it climbed up?
That's the only thing because there was nothing under that window but a flower bed, and nothing that it could have stood on to get up there. And
Was it like an older house? Like, how old was the house in the shed? Like, built like in the 30s or 20s? You think?
yeah, I think it was probably about the 30s or 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but I do know it was older and rickety, and it's not there anymore either. They moved a big old mobile home in now. So,
Oh wow!
but
What, the house is knocked down?
Yeah.
Oh, they knocked down the house?
yes.
Oh, interesting. And they brought in a mobile home.
Mhm.
Wow. So the shed, so everything is flattened.
Yeah. And where the shed had been, where they tore it out, they moved the mobile home in there also,
Oh,
right
wow.
over where the shed had been.
There's something going on there, guys. They set up shop. I know
something.
they set up shop. There's something going on there. They set up shop. Okay. You're gonna take me
Road
to that
trip.
place.
Road
Yeah,
trip.
you're gonna take me there, Tammy.
Pardon me?
You're gonna take me there.
Yep.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. you can just go over there and say, "There it is, Jeff," and take off.
I bet we could find it. I mean, how many of the houses have a 12-foot fence?
Fence with mobile homes in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a feeling there's something going on there. All right, well, let's continue on with this gnome thing. Okay. Now the shed. See, I think there's an entrance in that shed, and that's where it was going in and out of. What, I don't know. Now, there was two other people? No, there was one more person in the episode with you. Was it, and also a previous owner as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was another lady and her husband that had lived there, and I guess they had a lot of dealings with that thing.
Really?
Yeah, and well, we saw it. There was another time that we saw it. It was on. My grandson and I were home. We were watching TV, and we heard something at the back door. It was a slider, and we heard something, and he went to go see what it was, and he came running back and saying that creepy thing was there again. And when I walked around there, I saw it left real fast when I walked around to where the door was.
Uh-huh.
But the people that had been there before said that the lady said that her and her husband were working out in the yard, and they heard what sounded like cats fighting inside that shed, and it was bad. Well, he took the lock off, and when they opened the door, there was a cat laying on the floor that looked like it had been skinned, and it was dead.
Wow.
But there wasn't another cat in there. There was only the one cat and nothing else.
Oh, I see. Now,
maybe he eats cats.
Yeah, well, it was. Yeah. Did you lose any pets while you were living there?
We did. We lost. We had chickens, ducks. We had turkeys and peacocks, and they would disappear. They were in a pen that they couldn't get out of, and coyotes. No animals could get in there to them, but they would just start disappearing out of the pen. And we lost several.
Did you? Well, obviously, when you have pens like this with animals, you don't think about putting a padlock on it, but like, who's going to steal them, right? But how did you have them locked up, with a chain or just like a bungee cord, or?
Let me think just a minute. I'm trying to remember.
Did it have?
No, we had the little like the catch where you it's the loop, and then you put
with a little hook. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'd had a little like metal bar that slid in there.
Okay. Did it
hold it instead of a lock?
Did it have a cover on the pen?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It was enclosed.
So something with intelligence obviously was opening up the gate and going in and coming back out and locking it back up.
Yeah, and we never found, there were no feathers around anywhere. If something, another animal, a dog or a cat or a coyote or anything would have
Right.
gotten in there. There would have been feathers, and part of the
and you would have heard all the commotion.
Right.
Chickens going, screaming like heck, but nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we heard nothing. We'd just go out there the next morning and they'd be gone. And one morning we only heard, because we had the 2 peacocks, we only heard one peacock and went out there and the other one was just gone. And, we just had no idea how it got,
I heard
how it got out
peacocks
or who
taste
got in.
nasty. Nasty taste. They don't taste good.
How did you find the previous owners, or the Monsters and Mysteries production company? How did they find them, or was it you?
No, I had sent my story about the gnomes to a guy named Jason Offit. He's got a site online on the internet.
Okay.
That he takes all kinds of, people send him their different ghost stories, and I had sent it to him. Well, apparently the people that had lived there for me, they sent him a story describing the place, and he put 2 and 2 together. Because when he read that, he'd read mine, and then when he read theirs, it sounded familiar, and he put me in touch with the other lady.
Wow. Now, this guy Jason, he lives in Porterville.
No, he's I believe he's in Missouri.
Wow. So it was just one of those luck of the draws, the same. They were looking
he got out of the whole state like, man, I'm getting way far from this.
So that was kind of a luck of the draw that, both, that they were actually reading that particular, blog or website and saw your sighting on there and said, Porterville, what? So that's very cool.
Yeah, well, and that's what he was, Jason also was saying, that it was just, that our stories mirrored each other in the things that we had both put in our, when we were telling him about it.
Right.
So he thought it was crazy that he'd get, stories from 2 different people from the same exact place.
Wow. The odds. All right. How long did you live there? How long were you?
We were there. We were there almost 5 years.
5 years. This went on all 5 years?
Yes. Wow. Yep. I couldn't afford to move.
Right.
We couldn't do anything, so we were stuck there, and I finally saved enough money and decided we were not sticking around. Well, and the guy that owned it was selling it too, and so.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the most terrifying experience with this gnome that happened at your house?
I think it would have to be the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
That my grandson and I saw him. Yeah, because there was a couple more, but a guy was out back raking leaves, and I kept hearing something outside, and my grandson was in the house taking a nap, so I knew it wasn't him, and I saw it was kind of down in the trees a little bit, and he was kind of looking out from behind the tree.
Right.
And, so it was that one and the first time we saw him, I think.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Wow. I'm not going to say it's cool because you probably went through hell, but this is what we do, and what you're describing right now, Tammy, is not supposed to be real. And what we're telling people is that there's a whole new world out there where there are monsters, and I consider what you saw to be a monster. I mean, just like Bigfoot. Oh, okay, now we're going to go into Bigfoot. Okay, well, let's. What else can you tell us about this evil gnome? I mean,
just that that we would hear him, during the night, just cackling.
Did he ever come into the house?
No,
Oh,
not when we were there.
Okay.
Hopefully not when we weren't there too, but yeah, no, but he did a couple of times. He was at the back door.
Wow.
But he never never went in the house that I know of.
Did you ever ask or seek help or tell anybody about what you were experiencing?
No, nobody would. They'd have thought I was crazy.
Right.
I live across from the state hospital, so they probably would have sent me there if I told them. So that's But now I find out that several people that live over in that same area are experiencing a lot of what we did.
Whoa.
And
Okay. Whoa.
we were-
Time. You say right now that there are other houses near that area that are experiencing this type of stuff?
Yeah.
Do you know which houses these are?
No, I don't. The people, after we were on the show, several people that lived over in that area sent me emails and saying that they were experiencing, this weird thing too, and the things that I had described.
Right.
They hadn't actually seen him yet or seen anything, but
they just heard
everything else that I had experienced.
Did you save the emails?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to talk to you after our show tonight, and I need to contact these people, but you're going to contact them for me, and we're going to see if we can do some investigations down there in that area, because there's some definitely going on. I see some game cameras being put up and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, awesome. All right, now, Evil Gnome, let's segue over to Bigfoot. After we were talking, you said that you and your whole family saw a Bigfoot, right?
Yep.
Now, what highway was this on?
Highway 65, Porterville Highway, between Porterville and Bakersfield.
Okay. Who was in the car at the time all this happened?
It was my mom, myself, my stepsister, and a friend of ours. And it was about 10 o'clock at night. We were on our way to Bakersfield, and we got probably about a mile outside Ducor, I believe it was, and we saw this white thing. I mean, it was white. It wasn't dark like everybody else described it, but it ran down an embankment, because there was all kinds of orange orchards there at the time. Right. It ran down the embankment and across, up and across the street, but it paused for just a split second from the car and then took off and went down the other side. But this thing was 7 to 8 feet tall, and it had long white hair all over it, and we didn't realize at that time. I had been in the front seat, and our friend and my sister had been in the back seat. And after the thing passed, we were all up in the front seat. I don't know how the other two got up there, but they had jumped up in the front seat. Nobody, we were scared.
Now, was your mom in there too? You said, right?
She was driving.
She was driving.
What time? What time?
What time was this? Do you remember?
It was about 10 o'clock at night, somewhere around in there.
In the oranges.
It was probably between 9 and 10.
In oranges. That matches a lot of people tell us they see him in the oranges.
Now,
coming out.
Now, when you saw this Bigfoot, and I'm going to say it's a Bigfoot because that's the only thing it can be. It's a Bigfoot. I'm not familiar with this area. I know you said there's orange orchards. Is there is there hills there? Is there mountains? Or is it all flatland there?
There's little hills.
Okay.
In fact, where it came from was on a hill, and there were, like I say, orange groves all over.
Right.
And it it looked like it ran out of the orange groves and just down, down the hill and down the embankment, and it kind of goes down like a little gully and then back up and on the road.
Right.
And that's what it did, and then it just, like I said, stopped for just a split second in front of the car, and then took off again and went down the other side of the street or the highway.
And what month was this? You remember?
Oh gosh, no.
No. Was it cold? Was it hot? Was it raining?
Was there oranges on the tree?
It was probably summer, because I know it wasn't cold.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
More than likely it was in the summer.
Wow.
Usually it's like when the oranges are on the tree.
Yeah, that's when we get a lot of reports down there this way, because they're eating the oranges.
And then there's 2 harvests on oranges.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
you are.
My daughter, my youngest daughter, a few years back was coming back from Bakersfield with her ex-boyfriend and some of their friends, and they saw what all they could describe as was a baby Bigfoot, or a. I don't know. She said that it was probably about 2 feet tall and just had like pink skin, and it was running alongside the road, but not right by the road, but up on the dirt road next to the orange orchard. So I don't know if that had anything to do with what we saw.
You know what? An albino Bigfoot being white, and when it's newborn, it has pink skin. I'm thinking before it has the white hair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess we're going to have to call this Bigfoot Highway, huh?
I guess.
Man, that is very cool. And, people out there who are listening and watching right now, these Bigfoots do not live up in the mountains only. All right, you guys? They are down here and they are walking around, running around during the night time. It is just by luck that one of these turkeys are going to be out, and not knowing there's a car approaching, and then they're caught in the headlights by accident, and this is the kind of stuff we get. Luckily, and I bet you there's a lot more sightings, but people have no clue where to go to, who to turn to. We get sightings, Tammy, from people in Orange Cove that see these Bigfoots running from one side of the orchard to the other, just like what you saw. So it's an ongoing thing, and it's they're not up in the mountains, they're down here. And what's happening too is that the Bigfoots are looking for food. They're going and they're stealing the farmers' chickens and ducks and as well. So when you say that a lot of these birds and stuff were animals were missing from your pens, it kind of comes, the story that we get, there's Bigfoots doing it also. So now I know, the Thule Reservation is right there. A lot of the Bigfoots like to walk right up and down rivers, and that's what they use for their walkways during the nighttime. So, there's a lot going on in the Thule River. So, very cool. Well, Tammy, I appreciate you coming on and telling everybody your story. It's awesome. I know it's probably not awesome to you, but it's awesome to us. Later on tonight, after the show, I'm going to send you a message. And I would definitely like to talk to, if we can, some of the people who live in that area. And I know you have emails, so I want you, if you can, tell them there is a paranormal society that wants to investigate and set up cameras and see if we can find out what's going on in that area. Maybe we can get at least one family to allow us to go in and do it.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be awesome. But either way, though, I want to go down there sometime in the near future, and you just tell us where the house is at that you used to live in, and I want to, basically, scan around the area and see what's there and see what kind of a scenery is there, the atmosphere, see what's going on there, because there's something definitely going on there, and I want to get to the bottom of this, and that's what we do. So.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. All right, Tammy. Well, I appreciate it. And I know, too, you guys have seen some UFOs, and we do get UFOs, a lot of UFO sightings out there, too, near the reservation, stuff like that. So maybe we'll get to talk to you some other time and get to hear about that. So maybe when we're talking to you live and in person, you can tell us what you saw.
Okay.
Right on.
And
all right,
I
Tammy.
sent you a friend request. That's me.
Okay, yeah, Alan sent you a friend request, Alan Thomas, so just to let you know that's him, okay? He's my co-host. Okay. All right, Tammy, thank you very much for coming on, and we'll talk to you, soon.
Bye, Tammy.
Okay. Oh,
thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Sure, thank you very much. See ya. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
So that makes, number 2 on the white Bigfoots.
Yep.
We have one crawling, or really not crawling, running around Trimmer, right around Trimmer. So when you guys are up fishing around Pine Flat, keep your eyes peeled at night for the Trimmer white Bigfoot. Okay, yesterday we took a little trip and went up to the mountains where we have the game camera set up to retrieve the SD cards. And so we went up and we went and retrieved them, and there was 3 cards that we got. One had 9 photos on them. The other one had 8 photos, and the other one had a couple photos. We got animals. We didn't get a Bigfoot, unfortunately, but I want to show you a couple of the pictures so that way you see the stuff that we're getting and that we're actually doing what we tell you that we are doing. For one thing, so here is this particular camera was set up at was at about 3 feet height on a tree, and as you can see there, we have a deer. And just to let you know what I did, and the reason why I posted or placed this camera here, is right on this log behind the deer's butt. Is before we left that day, we left a tray full of food on that log, hopefully that something was going to come and get it, and then that when that happened, we were going to get a good photograph. So this is a deer at that location. The next photograph is actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you another photograph of the same location, and we got a booger stealing the food, and we think it's a fox. Oh, shut up, Rick! Don't be saying what did the fox say either, because I know that's what he's doing right now. What did the fox say? Shut up. Okay. What we see here is there's the food.
It doesn't look like a fox, though. Then again, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna.
Well, I asked on Facebook it's not a deer.
No, it's not a deer. It's not a deer.
Because you could see like the deer is taller than that log.
Yeah. See, I can see. Okay, there's the eye, and there's the ear, and it's sniffing. Coyote, maybe. A werewolf. I wish. Huh?
Yeah, your son said a cougar.
Cougar.
It's kind of little for a cougar.
Yeah. So I there it is. You guys can see it there and make your own decision. I don't know, but it's definitely a four-legged animal, and he's sniffing the food that we left there.
Something cool happened though. We were down there.
Hold on. Let's show one more picture before we sit talking. Okay. Now the other photograph is we placed cameras at a very high.
Real
high tree. And we got this particular photograph.
We're looking at it backwards. See, we thought we were looking at it backwards, but actually that was the head on the top.
Yeah.
It's not on the bottom. It could be. It's hard to tell.
Okay, this here is a photograph that I actually gap up trees, and I place the cameras at about 12 to 13 feet up. And as you can see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought there were 6 in this one.
Look way up the trail.
Where? Up here?
Yeah, right there. See the white spot?
That's it? You think that's one right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's another one right there. So there's 6 total deer on this photograph right here. Is that cool, guys, or what? We got 6 of them. Boom, boom, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I would not be surprised if there was a Bigfoot staking them out right now. So, all right.
Those deer actually stay in the area. They don't migrate. There's enough food and forage stuff there. They stay. That herd stays right in there, just like the Bigfoots.
Yep. A lot of food.
Okay. They don't run off or wander away.
So go ahead and tell everybody what happened on our way up, and as soon as we got there.
Well, I was going to tell about, like, we got there and we did a different thing. We went in and Jeff pulled a wagon down in there, and then he took a nap. And Robert threw his shirt on the ground and he took a nap. And I was sitting there and I just had this what do they call it? Man, I can't remember the name.
I can't think of the name.
But it enhances the sound.
Oh,
parabolic.
Parabolic, thank you.
Had the parabolic, and I was listening, and I could actually hear footsteps around me. And at one point, I even got up and went in the direction of the footsteps and went walking around up there, and I was closer, and there was footsteps. And I decided I was too far away from these guys. So I went back and sat down because I can't run. So I went back and sat down, and these guys are like snoozing, napping. And all of a sudden, there was a high-pitched scream, and it woke up Jeffrey and Robert.
I went, what was that?
Yeah, and they're like, what was that? Woke them straight up. And then that was pretty much it for...
Yeah, it was a very high-pitching scream. There was people up where we parked the vehicle, very high up there, but... They were riding quads. The problem is we didn't hear the quads, and the screams were a lot louder, very high-pitching screams. I don't know. I had taken chairs, folding chairs, and that's how I was taking a nap, was on a chair, and we were down there for about 4 hours, just in that place, just kicking it, just letting them. We did a couple of knocks, nothing. Robert said he heard some stuff. I didn't hear anything because my hearing is shot anyways. But the only thing that we heard was the definite screams. The kids were screaming way up there, but what doesn't make any sense is that there's no way we would have heard them all the way where we were at, because we couldn't hear the forerunners and the three-wheelers.
Yeah, and I kept on saying that we were way down in there, and those guys were riding those quads all day.
Yeah,
and I never even heard one quad
until we got pretty close up to the location. That's when we heard them. So, okay. So now, before we arrived, we started on our journey. Alan came to the house. We took off. We went down the 180 freeway, and there was a CHP police officer right in front of me, and he was like at 60, and he was staying at 60, and I would come up behind him, probably 100 yards, and he would put his brakes on, slow down, and then I would slow down, and he would slow down, hit the brakes, and I would slow down, and like he was pacing me, like he was trying to stay back, keep away, keep away. We went up to Academy Avenue and made a left on Academy, and it started going down. We go down Centerville, and we're passing, I don't remember the name of the street, but here comes this CHP officer, and he pulls right there, and he's looking right at us. He looked right at us as we passed by. He saw me. He just looked right at me. I go, Alan, look. And he's looking right at us, and he starts to follow us. And so we're going, and we come up to Robert's place, where Robert now moved in Centerville, and we stop to pick him up. He gets in, and we take off. It takes us about another hour to get to the location. We get to the spot. We park the vehicle. There's already another family there, the mother, father, a large son, and a younger kid. And they have a quad, and they're just kicking it there with a tent. And we get out, and we start talking to them, hi, whatever. And we start packing up the wagon. All of a sudden, 2 forest rangers pull up in 2 pickups. And they parked right by us, but they went straight for the family first. They saw us, definitely. And they went to the family, and they started talking to them. They said, those quads are not allowed, period. You can't even have them here. You need to pack it up and put it away, blah, 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 blah. And, at that point in time, I'm going, well, they're going to come over here and talk to us. That's obvious. And sure enough, after they talked to them, they came straight over to us. There was an older lady and a younger guy. And then each of them had a truck. And they said, hey, hi. And he said, so what are you guys doing? And we said, well, we're going to walk down the road, down in there.
We didn't even tell them what we were doing.
Yeah, at that point in time. The Bigfoot thing. Well, we told them we're going to walk in. And they said, and then she said, so you're going to walk all the way to
Cherry something.
And I'm going, I don't know where that place is at or whatever, but I told her, no, we're just going to walk down to where the dirt road goes to the right. She says, oh, okay. And so she goes, oh, so what do you guys, she sees all the electronics I have on the bed of the truck, like the game cameras, the earphones, the iPhones, all the microphones and stuff like that. Then she goes, so what organization are you with? And I at that point in time, I said, well, with the Sanger Paranormal Society. And she looked at me and she goes, and she smiled. She goes, okay. And I go, so what are you guys doing here? Or one of us asked her. And then she goes, well, we're here to do some work on the gate. And
I asked her if she was going to open it, because I got to walk down there. And if she's going to open it, we could drive.
Right. But she said no. She goes, they're there. They'll walk to do work on the gate. So they started walking away from us towards the gate, and she whispered something to him. And all of a sudden, she grabbed her left hand, and she hit the microphone that was on her lapel of her upper shirt, and she went, shh, and she started talking, right? And she said something into the microphone, and they continued walking down to the gate. They both bent down. They looked at the lock, blah, 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 blah. They got up and walked back to the truck, and that was it. And we looked at each other. And drove away. But then we go, well, wait a minute. Didn't they say they were going to work on the gate? Mm-hmm. So apparently not. I guess they were just going to look at the lock to make sure it was locked up and padlocked. Like, we don't want these guys driving in there. Type of deal. Because all of you have to remember, when Alan and Finding Bigfoot did the episode at that particular location, Alan, what happened a week after?
Gates.
They put up all the gates.
Gates and fences. There's fences for 200 yards on each side of the gate.
You can't go around the gates to get to the dirt road, because they literally put bars. They made poles, fences, and cemented them into the ground, so you can't even get a Jeep and go around. There's no way you can. So they did this a week after Finding Bigfoot left.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. I'm thinking, and you guys can, think whatever you want, but, we are being watched, and it was kind of weird and ironic that they showed up as soon as we showed up. We go there all the time, and we never see forest rangers. Never. And all of a sudden, 2 of them show up, and then all of a sudden, CHP were tailgating us and were following us all the way up there. Like, was it a coincidence? What's happening to us nowadays, these type of things are not coincidences. We tend to, it tends to happen a lot now, more than often. It happens a lot.
In fact, I was expecting, I told this to Jeff tonight, when we were setting up, I fully expected to have trouble with the internet.
Right.
And right away, we started having trouble with the Skype with dark matter.
Dark matter. And that has never happened. Then again, I don't know if it's just, maybe solar flares, or I don't know. It has, Keith said anything?
It's been bad, like, the whole time. Like,
it's really bad. It's
interference, and he wants to check on another day, because this is crazy, and this is the first time it's happened, and no one else is on the internet. You're plugged in. You're not on Wi-Fi. You're plugged in.
Right.
So
No,
there shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it's hardwired.
But there is.
And this one, even
right now,
we're even having trouble with the live stream.
Yeah. But it's like, we're not really talking about anything conspiratorial at all.
No, but only we did talk about something conspiratorial.
Well,
yesterday morning, and they followed us all the way to the gate.
Yeah, they did.
And I think they're on to us on that. And I think I started it. I'm
right.
sorry.
Well, let's talk a little bit. And we have, we only have like 13 minutes. So let's talk about the blood red moon, the date, April 27th, right? April 27th. Yep, that's the day.
Are you sure?
Oh, no. That's the day.
15th or
No, it's the 27th. I remember that. You said April.
Passover is the 15th.
It's the 15th for the blood moon. The 27th is the other date.
Oh, the other day. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. The 15th is the blood moon, right? Now, Alan was doing a lot of research prior to yesterday on a couple of dates, and a lot of people right now are taking this blood red moon very seriously because it is mentioned in the Bible and sort of the end of times and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to let Alan continue with that. Go for it.
I got 10 minutes. I'm going to do it really fast.
Okay.
The blood moons, they're called a tetrad because there's 4 of them. And in the last 600 years, there's only been like 3 of them that have meant anything. And the first time was, it had something to do with the Jews. And it was on Passover. And then the next one was on the Feast of Tabernacles. And then the following was on the Passover. And the next one was on the Feast of Tabernacles. This one coming up is going to be on Passover. And then the next one is in October or somewhere in there. And it'll be on the Feast of Tabernacles. And it'll be that same pattern this one is. And then the other date is April 27th. I was looking up this Project Bluebeam, and this is where it's probably going to get like crazy right now.
Okay, here we go. Listen to this, guys.
This is probably why we're having internet problems, and it isn't because we were going to bring it up tonight. I've been really researching this. April 27th, and we mentioned this a few shows back. The United States set a date for Israel to, what would you call it, have a peace treaty with the Muslims, and their deadline is April 27th. Also on April 27th, Project Bluebeam is actually saying on the web that, it's the Catholics, the Pope is going to be broadcast live on every channel around the world, and he's going to be in 3D.
So okay. A hologram. You're talking hologram.
Hologram. And Project Bluebeam is saying that on that same day, or, like the guys that leak this Project Bluebeam stuff, on April 27th, okay, the Pope's going to be broadcast everywhere. The United States is saying that the Jews have to sign a peace agreement, and Project Bluebeam says they're going to do a fake UFO, what do you call it, Invasion, there you go. And it'll either be that or a fake rapture or both at the same time. They'll be able to beam the voices into your head so that it sounds like it's coming from space, and they'll be able to do it to everyone over the whole entire world at the very same time in every language. And it's going to fool everyone. That's what they're saying. And to me, I don't know if this is true or not. All I know is it seems weird that it's right after the start of this tetrad. It has everything to do with the Jews and religion and all that kind of stuff. And I say fasten your seatbelts, because I have a feeling this is going to get like really good. And I wouldn't even say that, except for my internet is cutting out. I had a guy sitting in front of my house for 2 hours in a white car the other day, and he just sat there, and me and my brother were looking at each other like, what the heck is that dude doing? But he just sat there looking at us the very day after I find out about the blue beam stuff and the draconians and all this other stuff. And then I'm telling Jeff about it, and we're being followed all the way up, all the way up to this spot by highway patrols and rangers and you name it. But yeah, there we are.
Okay. All right. So now also we have been having a lot of earthquakes. We've had quite a bit of them on the Pacific Ring of Fire. All right, that's off the hook. We're also now having a lot in Idaho. Yellowstone, Oklahoma is off the hook. The United States right now is getting hit hard. It just so happens that we were watching Pacific Rim last night. For all those who have never seen that movie, it's about these dinosaur-looking type of large creatures coming out from the Ring of Fire in the Pacific Ocean, and they're invading the United States, right? Now,
everywhere.
Yeah, you're right. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
And it's like one comes up every so many days because they have a clock counter that tells them when these things actually come up. And they're like deformed creatures, wings and whatever, but they look like, something Godzilla would fight against, right? And so in order for the public or the population, the human race, to continue living, they had to somehow come and invent or create something to fight against these creatures. And these are these large robots that we have, right? The two pilots sit inside and they control them, and that's what they use to fight them off. But they have now the technology that they can actually get into the brain after they kill one of these animals. They can get into the brain and look into their past and see what's going on. Well, there's reptilians in Earth that are creating these creatures and sending them up, and they even say that they're also terraforming their air, so when it's time and right, these things are going to come out of the Earth.
So like Fukushima is part of the terraforming?
Possibly. Wow. Okay, and that's in this Pacific Rim movie, guys.
We're already going off.
Okay, so it's just kind of weird that we were watching this last night, and they started talking about that stuff, and I'm going, well, interesting.
That is interesting.
Okay, so I bet you there's a lot of little hints and a lot of the movies out there that are out right now, just that you have to pay attention and just be aware. That's all. But I got a feeling this year is going to be crazy and wild. Can something happen? Maybe, but maybe nothing will happen, and there you go. But the blood red moon on the 15th could
you could go on NASA. I found a lot of that information right on NASA.
Okay.
You could go to the NASA website and type in blood moon, and it'll bring it all up and tell you about the Feast of Tabernacles and the Passover and all that. And when the last time that it happened was when Israel became a nation and they did the 6-day war and all that. When they got Jerusalem, that was the last time the Tetrad thing happened. And now it'll tell you all about it though on NASA.
On NASA. And now, on the 27th of April, it just so happens on the same day they're going to show the Pope in 3D throughout the world. That particular day, they're giving Israel a deadline for a peace treaty.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd that all of these things are happening right around that same day. Don't be surprised if on that blood red moon, which is April the 15th, that maybe there's a false flag someplace.
Well, you know what it led me to believe, and this is what I didn't put, and I know we're tight.
Remove delay to other users. What's going on here?
We're losing everything.
Live stream's gone.
Live stream's gone. We're losing everything. Gone. Wow. Okay, we're gonna get out of here because they're shutting us down for some reason.
It's the New World Order, you guys. That's what it is.
You know what? I mean, we're talking about this and we're gone. So, all right. I appreciate it, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully next week we will. Oh, not next. Okay, next week we're not going to be here. There's going to be a rerun of a best of that we did in 2011. It's called 10/11/02. You're going to love it.
Abduction.
Make sure you listen. It's going to be awesome. Okay, guys. Next week we're not here, but there'll be a replay of a episode that we did. So good night. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night.
Next time, remember to keep your eyes to the skies, and we hope you witness something you cannot explain.
Looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I